Horizon Forbidden West has been out for about a week at this point, and many of us are just starting to get a handle on all the changes and cool new mechanics that have been added to the game. One of the biggest changes is the completely overhauled skill tree that now includes 6 different discipline branches, all containing skills broken up into the new categories like passive boosts, active skills, and weapon techniques. Honestly, it can be a bit overwhelming at first, and I'm sure some of you are trying to figure out how you should be spending your first skill points. Well, that's exactly what I'm here to help you with today. In my last video, we covered the very first 6 skills I recommend you pick up within the first few hours of the game. So if you're just getting ready to dive into Forbidden West, you should go and check out that video first and then come back here. In this video, we're going to tackle the next 8 skills, and as I did in the first video, we'll go through them in the order I recommend you get them. So let's dive right into the first one. And remember, because these are the next set of skills, we're going to start with number 7. Now, I'm sure some of you were a bit surprised to see that I didn't recommend any skills from the Infiltrator branch in my first skills video. Well, that was really only because I wanted to grab the melee damage skill, which is a couple of skills down the warrior branch. However, I'm definitely not recommending you invest heavily in the melee branch overall. The melee combat in Forbidden West is much improved compared to Zero Dawn, but it's still not Aloy's strength. That's why with the skills in this video, we're going back to Aloy's roots as an intelligent and tactical huntress, and our first step down that path will be to head over to the Infiltrator branch to pick up Silent Strike Plus. As you find out very quickly during the tutorial, Aloy has retained the Silent Strike skill she learned in the first game, and that's a really good thing because these stealthy attacks are an excellent way to take down early machines like burrowers and scroungers. In fact, unless you're playing on the very hard difficulty level, you'll be able to take down these machines with a single Silent Strike attack without even grabbing the upgraded version of the skill. That being said, as soon as you do start to run into some tougher machines, it won't be so easy to take them down, even on normal difficulty. Silent Strike Plus boosts damage from your Silent Strike attacks by a solid 25%, and that's a nice improvement that will help you handle the tougher small machines and human enemies. For skill number 8, we're staying in the Infiltrator branch and heading down to pick up Stealth Tear Plus. Now, some of you might be trying to decide between this skill and its twin Stealth Ranged Plus on the other side of the branch. Well, spoiler alert, we're going to come back for Stealth Range Plus later in this video, but I think Stealth Tear Plus is the better one to pick up first, and here's why. One of the big changes in Forbidden West is the emphasis on knocking off machine components, and there's 2 reasons for this. First off, you now need specific machine components to use as key upgrade resources for your weapons and outfits. For example, a charger's horns or the sound shell on a burrower's chest. These components are destroyed if you kill the machine before knocking them off. So if you want to upgrade your gear, and believe me, you definitely do, then you need to start focusing on knocking off components. The good thing, and the second reason you want to focus on tearing off components, is because doing so deals a lot of damage to a machine. In fact, you should really be getting in the habit of prioritizing component removal because it's a very effective combat strategy, especially in the early game when you really can't deal very much direct damage. Because it gives you a nice 15% tear boost while dealing damage to an unaware machine, Stealth Tear Plus will pay dividends by simultaneously helping you harvest valuable machine components and taking the machine down a bit faster. Up next, we're jumping over to the Survivor branch to get the Medicine Capacity skill. Now, I know healing skills are not the most exciting things to spend your skill points on, but they are very important. Medicine Capacity is a great investment because it will increase the number of medicinal berries Aloy can hold in her medicine pouch. The base level is 10, and this skill will increase that to 12. I know 2 more berries doesn't sound like a lot, but it really does make a difference with the new way healing works. Remember, there's now 3 places healing items can be stored: your medicine pouch, your inventory, and your overflow stash. The medicine pouch is the only one you can draw from quickly in combat, and those few seconds it takes to refill it from your inventory can be all the difference when you're in the midst of an intense fight. The extra berries you get by grabbing the Medicine Capacity skill will help you stay alive by avoiding this frustrating situation. For our 10th skill, we're heading over to the Hunter branch to grab Deep Concentration. Similar to Stealth Tear Plus and Stealth Range Plus, Deep Concentration has a twin across the branch called Concentration Regen. Spoiler alert again, we're going to grab that one next, but I do think you should prioritize Deep Concentration first. I've experimented with using both of these skills alone, and it's pretty clear to me that the extended time you get in the concentration state from Deep Concentration is more useful than being able to regenerate the concentration bar a bit faster, which is what Concentration Regen does. The thing is, once you're in the concentration state, you really want to be able to stay there as long as you can to land as many shots as possible. Whether that's to tear off a series of components or deal a bunch of direct damage, any skill that extends the amount of time you can stay in the concentration state is very beneficial. And this is especially true since the Hunter Reflexes ability from the first game, where you could get a slow motion effect while jumping with your weapon drawn, has been significantly nerfed. For a single skill point, Deep Concentration is a great investment. As mentioned, right after getting Deep Concentration, we'll want to pick up Concentration Regen right across from it in the Hunter branch. While Deep Concentration extended the time you could spend in the concentration state once triggered, Concentration Regen will allow you to trigger the state more often by regenerating the concentration bar more quickly. Concentration Regen increases the recharge speed by a generous 50%, so it will definitely make a noticeable difference in combat. Just like Deep Concentration, the Regen skill simply continues our trend of buffing the concentration ability so we can take full advantage of its power. For my 12th recommended skill, we're heading back to the Infiltrator branch to get Stealth Ranged Plus. Like its twin Stealth Tear Plus that we picked up earlier, Stealth Ranged Plus gives us an advantage when dealing with unaware enemies. However, this time the buff is applied to direct damage instead of tear. Specifically, we get a 10% boost to our damage dealt. Because of this, Stealth Ranged Plus is particularly useful when dealing with human enemies where your priority is simply dealing damage as opposed to sneaking up on machines where, again, you really want to focus on tearing off components. That being said, Stealth Range Plus certainly helps us out with machines too by compounding with Stealth Tear Plus to deal damage more quickly after we've torn off some components. We're staying in the Infiltrator branch for our next skill as well, and that's going to be Low Profile. This skill is very straightforward. It simply reduces your visibilities to enemies a bit. Again, this one is particularly useful with human enemies, but I find it helps with machines as well. In Forbidden West, I'm finding that I'm often repositioning myself around a machine site to get a better angle on a weak spot or a particular machine component that I want for my gear upgrades. Moving from one hiding place to another can be dangerous when multiple machines are on the lookout, so low profile definitely makes our tactical maneuvers a bit easier to pull off. For my recommended skill number 14, and the last skill for this video, we're also going to stay in the Infiltrator branch to grab the Quiet Movement skill. Similar to low profile, this helps us sneak around your human enemies and machines more easily by making our footsteps a bit quieter, so it's certainly useful as a passive boost on its own. But the main reason we're going for this is because it will allow us to unlock the Stealth Stalker Valor Surge. Stealth Stalker is a very strong Valor Surge that you'll be able to make use of throughout the entire game, and it's useful in all kinds of scenarios, from infiltrating rebel camps and taking out human enemies, to confusing machines and causing them to lose track of you when you're in a messy fight. Plus, I mean, come on, it's just so cool. Now, I know I mentioned in my last skills video that I thought the Critical Boost Valor Surge was the first one you should get, but I've been playing more since then, and while I still think Critical Boost is probably the most useful Valor Surge, I think it's more important to prioritize the Infiltrator skills we covered here first. However, we will be unlocking Critical Boost with my next set of recommended skills, so keep an eye out for that video. Alright guys, those are the second set of skills I recommend you get as you dive into Horizon Forbidden West. Now I want to remind you guys that you are going to get lots of skill points from doing side quests, taking on errands, and completing the main missions, so don't overthink which skills you pick up first too much. You should also know that you'll be able to get every skill if you complete all the side content, so it's not like you're going to be locked into a particular playstyle if you make a choice that you regret a little bit later. So these are the skills I recommend, but you can certainly get great results by choosing different ones. That's one of the great things about the new skill system. They gave us some really cool options across the board, and you can really customize your skill selection for any playstyle you want. I'd actually love to hear what you guys think about which skills to prioritize, so go ahead and leave me a comment about that down below. Now, there's a bunch more to learn about the skill tree and other new elements of the game, and I've got some great videos coming soon to help you guys with all of that. So if you're into that, there's actually a secret red button you can hit down below that will let you know when I've got another video for you. And hey, while you're down there, if you enjoyed this video or if you learned something, go ahead and hit that like button too. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.